when the Kundalini rises, it goes through some, say, affirmations that we say just inside ourselves. And these affirmations are just words that we say that correspond to some particular energy centers that we have inside us. And every energy center has its own quality. And the qualities were studied and found out, as I said, like many thousands of years ago. However, as I said, like they were mostly theoreticals. So what happens is that when the energy rises and it goes through our brain, we don't have to control it or imagine it that it goes through it. We just say these few things, and this happens spontaneously. That's why it's called Sahaja Yoga. Sahaja means born with or spontaneous, and yoga means in Sanskrit union. So it's a spontaneous union or union born with, because everybody is born with this union when they're a child.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever and wherever you are watching or listening. This is the Holistic Monitor, and I'm your host, Nick Sconia. The Holistic Monitor is a wellness podcast featuring life energy research, health and wellness transformation, self-improvement and empowerment, philosophy, spirituality, and now guest interviews as well. We look forward to your comments on our YouTube channel at Holistic Monitor, and you can also listen on the go with us at Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, and more. And with that, let's get today's show started. And welcome to this episode of the Holistic Monitor podcast, where we explore the many facets of wellness and personal growth. Today, we have a very special guest who is a true teacher hiding in plain sight, Alex Buaiscia, a software developer who has lived in several different countries and brings a wealth of knowledge and experience to the art and practice of meditation. We will be talking with Alex, who has a unique understanding in the field of Kundalini meditation that he is eager to share with us today and take us on a guided meditation to awaken the Kundalini within us. So sit back, relax, and let's explore with our guest today, Alex Buaiscia, the many benefits of this ancient practice on the Holistic Monitor. Alex Buaiscia?
Buaiscia, yes.
Buaiscia. You're a full-stack software engineer at Moravia.
Yeah.
And you currently reside in the Czech. You have a diverse background in literature, philology, journalism, and technology. And you've been meditating for 15 years, and you teach it to others.
Yes.
That sounds accurate? Okay. How did you get started in meditation?
That was during my university years. That's about 15 years ago. While I was still studying the 3 years degree at the university we have in Italy, because I'm Italian originally, so I was studying in Italy. A formula called 3+2, which we do like 3 years kind of bachelor degree, and then you do 2 years specialization. So I was doing this 3 years. I was studying philology actually, and Italian literature, mostly philology. Kind of a humanistic studies, anyway.
Okay.
And it happened to be a following path from my high school years, because what happened is that I started, let's say, my life kind of like when I was educated somehow in a more atheist background from my family. Like I was not baptized or anything like that. So I feel like coming from Italy, from a small town, and like mostly like 99% of the people were, but still my parents let me choose my own path. So that was very good and much appreciated to my parents.
Yeah.
And
not the norm, right?
Not the norm. No. I feel like that's not a blocker still, but for your own seeking or researching something more spiritual, but still. Right. It happened that I didn't have to go to church every Sunday, so while my other people, like other friends, were kind of obliged to do that. So
yeah,
we're not so happy about it, but still, okay. What happens that after, like during my years of high school, especially the last few years, I had this my normal life of teenager, so going up and downs, like with some more or less successful love stories and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I started feeling that there was something more in the world, just like studying or something like that. That was like before anyway, like thinking about jobs at
Right,
all.
right.
So I decided to go through an experiment and started to do and planned to do this. I'm not sure in English how is it, but this pilgrimage to Santiago de Compostela. Basically, it's this path that goes through whole Spain. It's one of the three pilgrimages that we're doing in the Middle Ages. One was to Rome, one was to Palestine, to Jerusalem, and one was to Santiago de Compostela. So the path to Santiago is still very much used nowadays, even more and more, like every passing years. It happened that I read the year before that one book from Paulo Coelho called actually I don't remember the name of the book, but it was about that.
I know the author. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because I read it like maybe it was like 20 years ago or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe it's called like that. But anyway, it inspired me to go to do that and search something more like deeper. So I just went there like without much expectations, but I liked to walk a lot. I did some walking tours around some lakes in Italy, something like that. So I'm kind of got used, a little at least, to walk more days than usually, like many days continuously, say. So I said, okay, let's try it. So I skipped the preparation stuff like that because that's not important. But I started in France, next to Roncesvalles, actually in Spain, on the Pyrenees Mountains, between France and Spain. And I started that. So I planned more or less 21 or 24 days. I don't really remember now.
Yeah.
And you have to be sticking to the schedule, because if you skip it, like you would basically lose the coming back bus. And then I had the airplane and from Bilbao to Barcelona, and after that from Barcelona to Italy.
Right.
Well, I have not really much choice but just to go forward.
Yeah, so that's it.
So yeah, it was. I started that, and in the first part is kind of you get used to it, and you start having many pains, like
right.
in the back, you get any kind of precaution, but still, like on the feet, of course. Yeah. You start understand how to cure yourself, like heal the wounds and like the calluses, like under the feet, stuff like that.
Yeah, they build up,
Yeah. So on a retrospective, what I was doing is basically trying, I think, to get my body in a best shape, like a hermitage or something like that.
Yeah.
To get like more detached from my body.
Right. Yeah, get your mind sharp, basically.
Yeah. I was not really aware of that at the moment.
Right. Yeah, you're feeling the pain of the feet.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and the hips and everything else, right? Yeah.
Yes. So what happens is that you start learning a few things here and there that are not just concerning your physical body, but at the time I was 19. It was the year between the finish of high school and starting of university. So I had a lot of time because I had like homeworks and stuff like that,
Yeah.
So my mind was completely free, for any obligations and stuff like that.
Right.
So I started to learn a few things, like, now it's kind of a cliche, but the thing of, it's not important to ride, but it's important to walk, or these things, which are they are cliche, but because like cliche are kind of part of the truth, but you don't really realize it until you really feel it in yourself, right? So I started having these moments in which in the beginning where there were lots of people in the beginning. So I was working together with somebody, making friends and so on, And after a while, everybody has his own pace, so her own pace. So it's people start spreading out basically. Like at the beginning, we're all concentrated together, starting together, but eventually, like you get losing people and you find them back again in the towns when you are going to sleep and so on. So after 1 week, basically, I was still passing the mountains, although there were more hills nowadays. I took a stick, which is very important.
Yeah.
For helping me for helping me to walk, right? And that stick, it became my companion. And I started after 1 week. I started to go after Pamplona, more or less, and Logroño also. Like it was more than 1 week. We started to have these places in Spain, northern Spain, called mesetas, which are fields of wheat, grain, basically, but like infinite fields. There are like 100 kilometers of fields or something like that.
Okay.
And the towns are very spread out. So I had a map, of course, like with around the towns, but at the time there were no GPS, mobile, something. I didn't have anything, basically, right? So just having a map and the signs, the path is all signed anyway. But sometimes it's misleading as well. So you have to find back, you have to ask people. It was like old ways, like, walking.
Yeah.
And so I passed, basically, there were many days in which I was having nobody at all for many kilometers behind me and many kilometers in front of me. I was completely alone by myself. And then I felt that I started connecting with the nature. Like I had this very big connection with nature. I was walking, but my body, I didn't feel it anymore, basically. And I was starting having this connection from my stick somehow. I was kind of, maybe not, I don't remember if I was talking to it, but I was...
Might have been, yeah, as we do, right? Trusty stick.
Feeling like it was guiding me somehow. And it was my connection between my body and the earth and the nature. So I was feeling these things coming inside of me and just getting me into harmony with the whole nature, basically. And then I was coming back. I was going to sleep to the town that I reached, and the next day I was starting back again and so on. But I started to have this feeling like every day I started walking, and it was a kind of state of meditation, right? Because I was completely connected with the nature. And at the time I didn't realize that what was it exactly, but it was really peaceful. And it was not like you going to the nature after, for the weekend or something like that. I feel relaxed. That was really like a connection.
Yeah.
And so I had many things happen there, like, you get to understand the value of water when you basically dry out and there are 40 degrees and you don't get a town for another 2 kilometers and stuff like that. So you really start appreciating like the elements of the nature, how they nourish you. Or in the evening they were like very maybe it was a little cold, so you had to wash your stuff, and you had to heal your wounds. And after that, maybe there were some bonfire or something like that. You start really appreciating the small things, and it puts you still more in contact with nature. And another like a really important episode happened towards the end of it, 1 week before I reached the destination, or 5 days. I basically got an inflammation to the, I don't know in English how it's called, this very important nerve that goes from the back to the legs.
The sciatic nerve?
Yes, that one. Yeah. And that basically means that you are finished.
Yeah, that's it. Depending on where it's impinged, which is probably right around the spine, yeah.
And I was very close, and I was feeling like, oh my God, I
hate it.
And I was feeling so bad and sad, So I started crying and feeling bad for myself. I said, "Oh, to take a bus, but I really don't want to finish it." And then some people came and gave me some antidolorifics or something like that. And I still feeling this connection anyway. And what happens is that I was just feeling sad, but I felt this calmness at the same time. So when I slept in some hostel, and then when I woke up, my pain was completely gone, completely absolutely gone. I said, okay, like what's happening? Because I took my stick, as I still had, and yeah, I started walking, and I said, all right, it's working. My leg is working. I don't feel any more pain.
Yeah.
That's incredible. So anyway, like to make it a little shorter here, I realized that there was something definitely superior, that I was not really having any control on it, but it somehow responded to my desire, to my let's say pure desire to to finish this, because I wanted to. It's not something like I desire like some material stuff, but I wanted really to finish it for myself, my spirit, for my
Yeah, for
spirit
your soul, right? Exactly.
personality. And that was my entry point to let's say something spiritual. Say.
Yeah.
Then I went to university, sorry, and I changed city. So I went to live with some of the students, and I started my university life. And I kind of not forgot about made other choices for the moment. So I started normal student life.
Right.
So, but after a few years, I realized that also actually after some failed love affair again. That was my like starting point, because I felt something that was not really like
Right.
that
A
love. It
loss.
was more attachment, and
Yeah.
it was not really like fulfilling in a way.
Mm-hmm.
But I started saying, okay, I remember something that I did like on that walk, right, on this path.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, I cannot do that anymore. I will try to do some program meditation, something like that. So I went to this. At the time, I didn't have much money, of course. This was called Norengya, I think, Buddhist meditation. It was a kind of Buddhist meditation. So I went there.
What kind was it?
Was called Norengya or something like that.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
I can look it up and tag it, but yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, but first of all, they were making like paying the things, so that the programs. So I said, okay, nope. And the second thing is that it really didn't convince me on what they were doing, because they were like chanting one kind of
right.
like that. And they were saying that it's basically reflecting yourself in the mantra, with the mantra and so on.
Yeah,
And
Buddhism. That's Buddhism, I believe, right?
It's Buddhism. Yes, it's part of Buddhism. Yeah. But Buddhism is very expensive. That's the thing. So I said, it's not for me. Like I didn't like it very much.
Yeah.
I was talking. Meanwhile, I made friends with somebody at university. I made some field trips with them, and I made very much friend with one other guy. And was talking to him after a few months after this failed love affair, say. And it was not, sorry, it's not an affair. It was not an affair. It was like romance story or something like that. It was like a very badly spoken.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I was talking to him, so I said, I wanted to try some meditations, but I never tried. I never managed to get to this state again. And he said, but I'm doing meditations. Okay, so let me try. So let's try. So at the time there were like no official, programs
right
about teaching. So I was going to his house and by bicycle with the top and downs of the hills of Bologna, basically. And it was teaching me. I was trying it, and I liked it a lot. And so that I basically started that way. This kind of meditation.
And really, nobody owns meditation. You can find it through different channels like Buddhism or other systems that involve meditation, but nobody owns it. Anybody can do it. It's one of those things that's really just these raw tools to connect with yourself and to find peace within yourself, but nobody owns the rights or rules to it. It's a matter of just doing it, right?
Yeah, that's right. I don't know, should I start talking as well about meditation, because I think it's a main topic at this point.
It's a what?
Sorry?
What did you say about it?
Yeah, no, I mean, that's the point like that we were talking about, because one thing that okay, let's go back a little. The meditation that I'm doing was founded by this Indian lady. Her name is Srimataji Nirmala Devi.
Okay.
And when she started this meditation, it's basically, she said basically that it cannot be paid for anybody.
Right.
Because it's a process that is owned, as you said, like by everybody, and not owned by anybody.
Right.
So also the programs that I've been taught of, or I'm teaching, we're always free of charge, because what we teach is basically how the people themselves can meditate. Of course, there is something to do. Like it's not like just a sit and nothing to do, but we just teach that, and after that, it's up to the person to become their own master or their own teacher, meaning that they can, by themselves, with the knowledge that they have, to meditate on their own way, say.
Yeah. Adapt it into their own style, right?
Yeah, there is some few things which are logical, but apart from that, yeah, everybody, like, I'm also like changing kind of meditation like almost every day,
right?
Because it depends on many things. It depends on how your work was, how if you had some problems somewhere, if you got stuck with something, I don't know, whatever it is in your life, you know. And because the meditation itself can give you a certain state of peace, but the meditation that I'm practicing, Sahaja Yoga, is not just about having this feeling of peace, but also like having these feelings of how we are inside ourselves. So this energy that we awaken inside ourselves basically communicate with our nervous system, and basically this energy sends signals towards our nervous system on our hands, especially if there are some problems or something that we have problems or at the moment, or in our life, generally speaking. And we have many ways on how to deal with them, like with the meditation itself. It's very like wide, like how to talk about it, because it's a topic that has been, from one point of view, studied and explained for thousands of years, because it's all the original knowledge that comes from the say Vedas or Puranas, like in India, for example.
Right.
But also you can find some part of the knowledge in the Gnostic texts from the initial Christian era, for example. You can find some of the knowledge as well in the Quran. You can find some knowledge in the Buddhist texts, and so on and so forth. However, until now, it was all, freezing knowledge or theoretical knowledge, which some people could manage to make it into practice. So that's why, like, for example, the hermits were going to the Himalayas in India, or also we had like many cases in Europe about, like saints, for example, called saints, that were going to hermitages as well, to isolate themselves and try to get more in contact with God and so on. However, in the 1970s, what happened is that the lady I was talking about, Shrimataji, who is the founder of Sahaja Yoga, awakened this for the first time, this energy, and could manage to get to work this method in which this energy could be awakened to everybody, not just to one person or two at a time, like it was before, but to everybody. And everybody could awaken the same energy to anybody else. So it was like a candle that was lighting another candle, and so on and so forth. So that's why it's very different from other kind of, say, meditations, like how is that called? Mindfulness or other kinds of meditation, because this is not about a mental process.
Okay.
It's about going above the mental process, because it's not about the exercise or meditation themselves that we do. We're not focusing or concentrating or imagining anything.
Right.
We just help this energy to arise. And because with this method that Shimataji, who had the fully awakened on this energy, she could realize how this energy works and how this could be transmitted to other people. So the process is kind of that she managed. It's basically the opposite of what the hermits were doing. The hermits were basically trying to clean up our body, which I was trying to do, like in my pilgrimage, for example, in the beginning.
Yeah.
And when the body was enough cleansed, like also with many things, like stay up, like with the head down, or staying on one leg, or trying to like martyrize like their body as much as possible. Anyway, they were trying to get to more this state of like not just meditation, but of course like in contact with God.
Yeah, divine connection.
Yes, the divine connection, exactly. Shimataji thought about that this is not possible anymore, of course. So it has to be on the other way around. So that's why she awakened this energy, the Kundalini. And she said, okay, let's work the other way around. We awaken before the Kundalini, and then with the Kundalini awakened, you can start doing the meditation, and you can start cleaning yourself inside. Because
so rather than go the route of conditioning to awaken the Kundalini, and then work on the conditioning afterward.
Yes.
Utilize basically the power centers to start doing the work within the body and within the mind and all that. Okay.
Yes, exactly. So the thing is that first of all, when the Kundalini rises, after that we can also try if you wish. When the Kundalini rises, it goes through some say affirmations that we say just inside ourselves, and these affirmations are just words that we say that correspond to some particular energy centers that we have inside us. And every energy center has its own quality, and the qualities were studied and found out, as I said, like many thousands of years ago. However, as I said, like they were mostly theoreticals. Right. So what happens is that when energy rises and it goes through our brain, we don't have to control it or imagine it that it goes through it. We just say these few things, and this happens spontaneously. That's why it's called Sahaja Yoga. Sahaja means born with or spontaneous, and yoga means in Sanskrit union. So it's a spontaneous union or union born with, like because everybody is born with this union when they're a child.
Right.
When you're in the belly of the mommy, or as well when they are born, they have this fontanel bone area, which is open, of course, in the skull. Right. But also this energy is already awakened in the babies. And when we grow up, what happens is that we lose the connection because this energy falls down to a dormant state, because our personality starts growing. It's like, say, our ego, meaning like our individuality, starts growing from one side, and our conditionings or superego starts growing on the other side. And these are, you can imagine them like as two balloons. So they're kind of growing on a psychological level. They're kind of growing, and they basically grow up until they got stuck here, and they go here, basically, and they're stuck here. And the Kundalini goes back in a dormant state.
Right.
When we do the meditation through this method, the Kundalini can raise again, and these balloons start subsiding again, and the Kundalini can pass through just a little while, until we say we can manage somehow. Because many books have been written about the Kundalini, many things have been said about it, because it's an ancient knowledge, and many people talked about it also, like in the ancient times in India.
Yeah.
But very few people experimented it, and many people who are explaining that the awakening of the Kundalini is something dangerous is because they actually didn't really understand how this works, and they are mostly trying to awaken this energy with a wrong method. And with wrong method, I mean something that is very bad, for example, tantrism or something like that, is something that is going, for example, very much against our spiritual purity or innocence, because everything that comes from God is something that we can find, say in the universe, in the nature, or something like that. So the nature is innocent. So if you go to do something, say, really against the innocent like that, and you try to awaken this energy, of course, doesn't really like it. It's an intelligent energy because it's the reflex of this divine energy into ourselves. So you can get like some bad feelings about that. However, when we do the meditation with this method, because it's awakened by a person who got it awakened spontaneously and in full, then you get into meditation. You get to this pure meditation.
Passing the torch, basically.
Yes.
You're passing the light. Yeah, the candlelight, like you said.
It just goes through our mind, and it opens up this piece here, which was the fontanel bone area in the babies, or the small children, and you get into this state that is called thoughtless awareness, because you are doing meditation basically with closed eyes. In the beginning, there is somebody guiding you, as I said, and after that, you can start doing by yourself. And even if you are with the closed eyes, your thoughts stop completely, and you are completely aware of what's going on around you. People talking, going, if there is somebody, or somebody next to you, if there is touching you or something like that, you are in the state of thoughtless awareness. So you are completely aware, but aware of thoughts. Now, in the beginning, it can be that being without thoughts can be like a very short amount of time. It can be a few seconds or something like that. But that's an important part here, because in our normal lives, we are going basically through thinking about our future, our planning, or planning to do something, what I will do tonight, what I will do tomorrow at work, or something like that. And on the other side, after that, we go on the other side, and we go to our past. So, I talked to this person this way, maybe I shouldn't have. Or I've done this, I remember this thing in the past that I did. So it's kind of a pendulum, right? So it's going like from one side to the other side to the other side, and so on. And that works also on our emotional side. So we are going to work, we're getting really stressed because we have to do things quickly and so on. And after that, we are getting back home, or we are working at home anyways, depending now. And anyway, also at the end of the day, we are super tired and we just want to rest and we have nothing to do. So we just feel lazy. We don't want to do anything else. And the same happens in the weekend, right? So the awakening of the energy of this of the Kundalini happens in the what we call it, like in the central channel. The central channel is corresponding to our spine. It's like on our center, the central nervous system. And then we have one left part and one right part. And the right part corresponds to our actions, and the left part corresponds to our emotions. So we're going always towards our emotions, or tiredness, or laziness, or conditionings. And then we go to our actions, to our planning, and so on and so forth. And meditation allows you basically to stop a little this pendulum. It goes slower and slower and slower and slower until it stops at a certain point, and the Kundalini passes through, and you can get without thoughts for a moment, and then maybe it starts again a little, and then it stops again. And then the more you meditate, and the more this Kundalini gets stronger, and the more you manage to. Stronger doesn't mean that you get like superpowers or anything like that. It means that you get more time into this state of meditation. And
free of thoughts,
without thoughts, yes.
Yeah.
And because it's not a concentration thing or a focusing thing, this energy is like a small plant. So you have to nourish it a little, so meditating. But also it means that when you are working or something like that, you can get into the state of meditation even while working. You can get, of course, I'm getting, even after all this time, some times in which I'm quite stressed, something like that at work. But after work, I can maybe meditate a little, or do some other treatments that we do very like with natural elements. For example, we just take a foot soak, like putting the feet in the water with salt or something like that, to just come do meditation, just to just calm down, and everything is just fine as normal as it was before working. So all the stress doesn't accumulate until the end of the week, but it just like is going basically away.
Yeah. And meditated away.
Yeah.
a real decompression. Yeah.
Yeah.
Take the stress at the end of the week.
Yes.
And clear it. Yeah.
And then there are many things. One of the most important thing is that this energy can be felt. As I said in the beginning, it can be giving us sensations on our nervous system because it's working on our spine. Energy itself is normally dormant or is awakened and resides in the sacred bone. And then it goes through the spine, and after that it goes like basically through our, energy centers.
Right.
And then it goes, as I said, above. But when it goes through the energy centers, it starts clearing them. Now, every energy center has its own qualities, and we can feel after the awakening of this energy, we can feel them on our fingertips. We can feel some tingling, some heat, some coolness, some other sensations. That it doesn't mean that one has to believe it, one has to experiment it. All this knowledge that there is, like, it's not really in a particular book or anything like that. There are some books, but it really doesn't matter. It's more about going to experiment it, to test it, to try it by yourself.
Right. The scientific method. Got to test it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that. Yeah.
See what results you get, and then.
Yeah. As a strategy, we said in the beginning as well, you have to try it and test it like a scientist. So if it's work, basically you accept it because it works. Right. If it doesn't, it's okay. It means that it doesn't work for you. It's okay.
Well, there's probably another method. I mean, and I find that's a lot with people. They say, well, I can't stop the thoughts. I'm constantly thinking, and I can't find peace within my own mind to stop the thoughts from coming. They just keep coming. And I always have said, maybe the method, the key isn't opening that door. Try a different key. You may need a whole nother door to try to find a place of stillness within yourself, but there's always some way something that's going to work, because it is, to me, it's not a physical thing, but it is accessed through, a certain physical means. Some people need to walk, many days to beat the body out of the mind, in a sense, or to train really hard and do a lot of weightlifting to try and, clear their mind space. And others don't need to do all that. So some people don't need to condition the body out of the brain and the physicalness. And some people don't need a lot of work to stop the thoughts from flooding in constantly.
Yeah.
But there are those that do. And I always say it's just a matter of finding the right key to open that door. Whatever practice would work. So this allows, it's kind of, what you're doing is almost like a lineage where it's attached to a practice above or a practice from someone else. And it worked for them really well and successfully, and they passed it on and passed it on and passed it on and passed it on. So that's what I'm gleaning from what you're saying, is that it's a tried and true method for many, to awaken the Kundalini first and then do the sorting of the rest afterward.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, as you said, like there were now the programs that I'm teaching with other people are very small, because I'm in a small city and I'm doing like with small people, like a very few amount of people anyway.
Yeah.
However, like in the past, especially in India, but also here in Europe, in my city in Brno, where I live now, it happened when in the 80s when Mataji was here as well. Like we had big halls, like theater halls, like with 1,000 people or something like that, or even more. Also in Rome, it was done a few years back in one of the biggest stadiums. Like it was quite packed, and they were just doing, the exercise that we do in Sahaja Yoga, And after that, we were just asking, like, how many people raise your hands to people like who were feeling without thoughts, stayed without thoughts for a few moments or a few more minutes or something. And everybody was just raising their hands. Or how many people were feeling this coolness or warmness on the hands and so on. And like a majority of people was also like raising their hands, basically. So it's basically like a collective happening, because this is the time of collective happenings.
Right.
In the, say, circle of time, we are kind of, you can see basically like there is a lot of destruction on the way, but there is also lots of constructive forces like along the way as well.
Right.
So this is one of the constructive forces.
Great unification versus separation.
Because many problems that we have nowadays, they happen mostly because people they cannot find peace within themselves. So it's not just about work and about doing charity or just about doing something good for other people. But if you do something good for other people, but you bring along all your lots of conditionings or your ego and so on, like you possibly do more harm than actually good.
You may spread that versus spreading goodwill.
So you have to find yourself the peace beforehand, and after that you can give it to others. That's why, like, we do. Of course, we meditate ourselves before, and after that we can try to explain it to other people and let them try at least. And,
absolutely. And it's like choose your lane. Pick which side you want to be on, and it's not really sides against anything. It's really just the mindset. Do you want to be in a grander unification with yourself, with what seems to be a holistic body that's attached to everything around it, or one that's closed off from those things, that is non-accepting of things around it. Not to say you're just generally accepting everything, but just that you're aware of more things around you and the things that have a power pull on you and drive you out of stillness or drive you out of mindfulness, if you want to use that term. The distractions being many. How do you personally work with your work, which is definitely a lot of mental work? It's working on computers and stuff. How do you balance that with the meditation practice? Are you able to do it while you're working, or is it definitely something you need to do after or before?
Normally I don't really need it when I'm working.
Right.
However, like it happened, I remember like quite sometimes in the past that especially now with everything quite remote, I happened to help me a lot with the interviews, for example.
Catch yourself.
Interviewing, I mean, if you are in a place but usually also when you're in a place, I could manage at least to, if I had some task or something to do, just to put attention within myself and just try to put attention on the energy, on the Kundalini, and on this point, because this is the main point where the Kundalini and where say all the energy centers or chakras like integrate themselves. So if you put attention basically here and you massage it just a little, is basically helping to get into this state of meditation quite suddenly, actually. If you practice after a while, of course, but if you practice a little. So I almost never like need it for work itself. But I usually do like a meditation in the morning as soon as I wake up. And then in the evening before I go into bed. There is no really like a specific time one has to do it. Really like anytime you want, basically.
Right.
But of course, as you wake up, it's like you don't have still the mind running just yet. So it gives you the energy and these feelings that we call vibrations. We also like feeling these vibrations.
Right.
They on the hands, it gives you, it's like nourishment basically that you get in the morning, for example, and they put you in a central state, in a more balanced state, so you can start basically the day quite good.
Yeah.
And in the evening instead, usually because there is like everything from the day, if I went out or not, but it doesn't really matter. So usually I take this meditation with a foot soak, like so put myself the feet in the water with some salt.
Yeah.
And meditating like that. It's an old thing, like the foot soak, that actually our grandparents were doing some time ago because they were like normally relaxing,
Right.
relaxing themselves.
Yeah. Spot treatment.
Yeah, but with the meditation, it's even better because it allows you really it allows the water and the salt, because are natural elements, and the Kundalini resounds or resonates, say, to these elements, and these elements start absorbing all the heaviness that you have inside your body. Basically, everything goes down, like with the elements of the Mother Earth. So, like the water, the salt, everything like that.
Electrical charge pulling out of the body. Yeah.
Yeah. So you start to feeling like even more peaceful just after the foot soak, and after that, you continue maybe the meditation for maybe 5-10 minutes. Even 5 minutes is enough. Maybe I'm doing it maybe for 15-20 minutes, something like that. If you are, sometimes it happens that I have very good meditations. It happens to be 1 hour, 2 hours, like during the programs or something or like that. We meditate maybe for 1 hour. Sometimes it depends.
Yeah.
But at home is enough in the morning or in the afternoon or evening, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And after that, I go to bed and I sleep very well.
Yeah. Yeah. So there we go. Yeah. Well, I approach my day the same way when I'm able. My schedule's super full typically, but that pre-alarm, right? 5 minutes. I've set my internal clock to try and go off right before my alarm. And when I do wake up before my alarm, typically I'm aware. I wake up to see, oh, what time is it? Did I miss my alarm? Which happens quite a bit. But if I didn't, it means that I've gotten a game on the day in a sense. And I take that time to sort my coming day out and do my little meditation prior to the day. It's like one of my favorite times to do meditation because I can interlace it with dreams and visualization. Because I'm still slightly attached to the other realms, as it were. So that's definitely one of my favorite times. And that's something I gleaned from my mom, who does the same thing before getting up, sitting meditation or laying meditation, basically, before actually getting up for the day. It's a great way to sort out what's coming and kind of arrange things mentally for expectations of the day, but have this interplay from the dream state still there, where you're able to kind of play it out. And I've found a lot of value in that. It's definitely very helpful, but it's definitely not a emptying of the mind as much as it is a I'm not really sure, dream work. Probably fall more in the realm of dream work, but for me it's morning meditation. It's where I sit and I find that balance point, and I work with the incoming stimulus of the day that's coming, so you could do this 5-minute meditation pretty much at any point in the time of the day, during break or what have you, or finding a great location somewhere around the world and having to sit on a rock and enjoying the moment. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, that's true.
Would you be able to do a brief intro into this meditation, like a 2 or 3 minute thing?
Yeah, it would be very quick. It really, as I said, it doesn't matter how long it is. Also, like during the programs, we do normal meditation with maybe the first time, like maybe 15 minutes or something.
Yeah.
But because the energy, say, answers to our pure desire. Let's say our pure desire was talking in the beginning, like the pure desire of growing ourselves and evolve. And it's basically the desire to just try it and see how it is. So how it is, how it's going to work is particularly putting our right hand on, here it's on the left, but it's on the right, on our heart. And then we say here one affirmation, which is basically, I am the spirit. And the spirit is basically the essence of ourselves. It's not like the soul ourselves, but it's like the reflection of the divine inside ourselves. Say the masculine reflection, of the divine, and the Kundalini is the feminine reflection of ourselves. Of the divine, sorry. So we basically try to detach ourselves from our mind, our body, our emotions, and try to get attached to more this natural or universal or divine energy within us. Then we put our right hand here between the neck and the shoulder. And here we say another affirmation, which is very important. I'm not guilty of anything. The sense of guilt is something that we learned from our society to bring along because reasons. But in effect, it doesn't really have any advantage or any reason to exist.
Right.
I mean, it has a reason, like to create a conditioning by which, okay, if I do this, I will feel guilty. Okay, that's okay. But if you have done something and you feel guilty, it's basically blocking you for repairing the situation or doing something better after that.
Right.
Or it's just hanging around there, like it doesn't do anything, but it just stuck there. And the quality here of this chakra or center of energy is the communication. And the part here on the left side is the communication towards ourselves. So when we say I'm not guilty, we try to take off the blockages that our guilts carry on this chakra, this central system, on this part. Then after that, we put our right hand here on our forehead. And here we say another very important thing, which is about the forgiveness. Now, it's a very important part because the main quality of this center of energy is the forgiveness. Now, it's also forgiveness towards others and forgiveness towards ourselves. It has double aspects, as always. But we say this, I forgive everybody and I forgive everything and I forgive all myself. And it's very important here not to focus on some particular person or situation, because otherwise we will not end until the end of the times, basically. Because we have to forgive basically everybody, maybe that we feel that they've wronged us, or we have to forgive so many things that we have done, and so on and so forth. So it doesn't really matter. What matters is we just say it and try to just say it without thinking about anything in particular or anybody in particular. We just say, I forgive everybody and I forgive everything. And after that, for the last thing, we put our right hand here on the fontanelle bone area in the kids and the children say, and we massage it a little with the stretched hands. You can see like here on the camera here. And here we just say, Mother Kundalini, we just refer to this energy as Mother Kundalini. Please give me my self-realization, which is called this process of awakening or this energy. And that's it. And after that, we will do it with closed eyes. Or if there is somebody watching it, of course, they can open their eyes just to see how it is done, basically.
Yeah.
But it's quite simple. And with the closed eyes after that, we can try to see if we feel something already. So we will do just a little thing. We just put our hands basically on like this, on, let's say, I can see on the camera here, but it's basically in front of our body, like that, open hands like this. And also above the head like this, above the head, without touching the head. This will take, it's more time like explaining it than actually doing it.
So it's heart, and then throat, and then crown, and then above crown, or then in front, and then above crown. Is that right?
Yeah, just heart, shoulder, forehead, and top of the head, basically. Yeah, so we can do it now. It's important to have at least, you can be seated or like lotus position. It's important not to do it like lying down. And also without shoes or without slippers.
Right.
The word. And just the feet, basically the feet have to have contact to the ground. Whatever we are, like at home, outside, doesn't really matter. Even like at 15th floor doesn't really matter, but it's important to have the feet on the ground.
Yeah.
So basically what we do, the first thing, we put our both hands with palm open, because these sensations that I was talking about before, and we put them on our laps, however in this position we are, and we just close our eyes. Now we just we can do anything that we do for relaxing before, like we can stretch our shoulders, we can take some deep breath. So just we try to bring our attention just a little inside from everything that we have outside, from the family, from the work, from our house, anything. So we just put our right hand on our heart. And here we just say inside. We can say it 3 times or more times if you want. I am the pure spirit. I am the pure spirit. We can also feel the calm rhythm of our heart on our hand. Because truly we are not this mind, we are not this body, we are not these emotions. So we say just, I am the pure spirit. Now we move our right hand on our left shoulder, and we can move the head to the right a little, and the left hand stays open on our lap. And here we say, I am not guilty of anything at all. We just say it without focusing on anything in particular. I am not guilty of anything at all. Sometimes it can be difficult to say it inside, so we can try as much as we can. I'm not guilty of anything at all. Now we put our right hand on our forehead, and we can bend the head down a little to help us. And here we just say, without focusing on anything, I forgive everything, I forgive everyone, and I forgive all myself. It's like I forgive all the world. I forgive everyone, everything, and I forgive all myself. Forgiveness is just for us, because whether we forgive or not forgive, nothing changes around us, other people, other situations. So forgiveness is just giving us peace inside. I just forgive everyone, everything, and I forgive everything of myself. Now we bring our right hand above the head on the fontanel bone area. We stretch the fingertips and the fingers, and we massage a little in a clockwise manner. So back, left, front and right. And we massage it this way for a few times. And meanwhile, we say inside, Mother Kundalini, please give me my self-realization. Mother Kundalini, please give me my self-realization. Now we bring down our right hand with open palm. And our attention is above our head, where we touched the head. And with attention there, we just observe with attention our hands. If we feel something, if we don't, it's okay as well. And we can now bring our right hand above our head, a few centimeters above, without touching it, with the palm downward. And we can try to see with our attention to see if we feel some small breeze coming out of our head. Can be cool, can be warm. We can feel something on the hand. We can bring down our right hand, and we can do the same with the left hand above the head, a few centimeters above, and the feelings can be different as well. Now we can put down our left hand. And normally we can say more meditation, but we can just now open our eyes.
That's great.
That's good, that's it. I'm like already in meditation.
Yeah, fantastic. Fantastic. And it really puts a nice calm gesture on everything thereafter. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's very simple. The first meditation has maybe 3-4 more things, but that's basically just a desire to this energy to be awakened.
Mm-hmm.
And there, yeah, it's difficult to talk after.
Yeah. I'll try and fill the air as much as I can here. So it seems that with the use of the energy palm chakras, that's being used to kind of spin or ignite, or whatever term you'd like to use, the chakra, first the heart, which is a great connection point, and then to utilize the affirmations or the key words to kind of clear some of the damage, maybe, or the prohibitions on the chakra from spinning or exhibiting its energy. So clearing the heart with and what was the first one is to, what was the phrase for the heart?
I'm the pure spirit. Yeah.
Right. I am the pure spirit. So connection to the divine through the heart, divine love.
It's yes. It's not about really like say putting energy into it or
Right.
in the chakra, but it's more about just inviting the Kundalini to go there.
Right.
This I mean, everything has its own reasons, but now it's kind of a bit too long to explain. But for example, we use the right hand, sorry, on the left channel for a reason, because the right hand correspond to a right channel, which is the channel of action. And the left channel instead is the left part is our channel of emotions, but also desires. So we use our action on our desire, basically.
Okay.
For this so-called realization, like, or awakening all the energy.
Right.
And but after that, while you do normal meditations, like, of course, you can you do everything, like on every part
Other
of
stuff. Yeah, right. You move through it. My
So
first time doing that.
Right channel, we use the left hand, of course, because it's like easier, and on the center channel we use also the right hand. But we just invite the Kundalini through affirmations. We just invite the Kundalini because they are corresponding qualities to the different parts or different chakras. Say yes.
Right, and it's the top tier chakras that really draw that Kundalini from low down up all the way up to high. And and then of course I like at the end to actually see if you're like, are you perceiving the energy flow?
Yeah,
which,
that's really,
I'm prohibited a little bit. I got this cap on here, but I think for a lot of people, and you can look at it in a physical sense too, but for a lot of people that can be the thing that says, oh, okay, wait, there is a sense there. There is something moving there. It's an easy way for an affirmation that what they're doing has some kind of resonance.
Yes, we tried out, as I said in the beginning. Also, when I started Sahaja Yoga, I had my doubts about, am I feeling this right? There is some open window or something like that. So I was trying at home, like, to isolate myself as much as possible with different situations and try to meditate different times of the day, see, okay, like, how is it now, and so on, with the hands open and so on. And I was feeling almost every time, like, different things, but I was almost always feeling some coolness or warmness on my hands. And I was trying to, because every finger, say, on the hand correspond to one chakra, so I was trying to help or try to say, indicate, say, or how to call it, say to the Kundalini, say, where to go through the affirmations and so on, different centers.
Yeah.
And I was feeling that the sensation were changing, like, on the hands as well. And then I was trying to add a kind of experiments, because these vibrations are just within us, but also we are giving the vibrations. So I was trying to give vibrations to plants and so on as well.
Yeah.
Which worked fine, actually.
Yeah, definitely.
So
there's a symbiotic relationship there.
Yeah, that's the connection that I was feeling for the nature, like I was talking in the first place, when I was talking about the pilgrimage to Santiago. I didn't have the tools to understand what was that at the moment, but I didn't have the Kundalini Awaken either, because I never felt, before the realization, before this first time I meditated, I never felt these sensations, coolness or warmness or tingling on the fingertips, never before, because it's something happening after the Kundalini gets awakened, basically.
Yeah.
And when one has to try it, because, as I said, like, now we did the meditation, maybe you felt it, maybe you didn't. Sometimes people felt it. It happened after 1 month of meditating.
Right.
There are some people who don't feel it for years, and after it starts. But the main point is being into meditation. The main point of the
main point is the meditation, right?
Yes. These sensations are just to let you understand. Yeah, I'm there. Okay, I can work it out. I can let you understand if you have some blocks inside, because the chakras are also connected with the organs, so you can also cure yourself. You can cure your organs, your parts of the body, and so on. It's a long story, but like, yeah.
But right.
Yeah, a lot of stuff. However, the point is, get into the state of thoughtless awareness to be in meditation, because this is what lets you stay in meditation also during your normal life. That's the most important thing.
Right. Well, and also, what you do for yourself, you do for others as well. So in finding serenity, internal serenity, and
Yes.
driving towards total serenity, driving towards a full unity of consciousness, that naturally goes out to those around you. That naturally involves everybody around you, and not in a forceful way. It's just your approach to life, the way you may pause before answering versus, saying something without thinking about it. The way that you approach your people at work or people in your life, people at the coffee shop, wherever you're at, just your very approach will change. And in doing that, it will also affect everybody else around you. So if you're at peace, it's going to start flowing out. That peace is part of your presence.
Yeah. Totally.
And that guilt portion there, we had a show earlier with Lois Hollis, who that's her focus, is clearing guilt, shame from the body. She sees that as a major block,
Yeah, that's helpful.
It's a major thing, and it's where did it come from? It doesn't belong there. Get rid of it. Because it's a major inhibitor to releasing and feeling like, okay, why are you feeling guilty? Like, just move through. This is your body, your energy. And I did really between or after high school, I should say, I did some acupressure yoga. And that was how it was coined, and there were specific practices in that to move the Kundalini up, which ended in a meditation and visualization of the Kundalini moving out of the top of the head and all this. And for me, I got great results from it. Physical, direct correspondence results. Enough that it scared me a little bit because it was a little too physically, things moving, So for me, I was like, wow, it's very powerful. And I felt like I wasn't, I didn't have a good lineage or not necessarily a safety net, but really well, what did I experience? I didn't have somewhere to go because I was getting this information on my own. I didn't have a teacher teaching me. Is it something that you do for people, that you work with people and will help guide them along if they run into little weird things happening?
Yeah. There is a lot.
Yeah. Does that happen a lot?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Usually, as you describe it, maybe it happens that the Kundalini can get through, and it happens that it can get stuck. It depends. If it gets stuck, usually you get maybe some headache or something like that.
Yeah, right.
It doesn't usually because it's a natural process. So as the schematic explained, it doesn't have to have any not normal consequences. So you can get into the state of meditation because that's kind of natural, say. It's just blocked by basically our mind.
Yeah.
And but for example, if you start seeing things like it can be happening, like chakras, colors, or the Kundalini itself as well, it just means that maybe you are maybe a little on we call it on the left side, and saying on the superconscious. Subconscious. And basically, it just means that the Kundalini just is trying to tell you that, okay, you have to go back a little to the center, basically, because you are
got it.
The subconscious. And the same way, like as you said, like in the beginning, from the dreams and so on, like it's more or less the area where the dreams come from, the subconscious. So this is coming from the left side, and it can happen that sometimes we are bring naturally towards the center, and we can have really nice experiences, right? But the Kundalini usually tries, because she's an intelligent energy, she's kind of the reflection of the divine within us,
right?
Just to make it the more natural possible, more comfortable for us as possible. It doesn't have anything painful or anything like that. Absolutely not. If it's done properly, a person is done properly. And mostly, like as I said, many people can have the pure desire to awaken that, of course. And there are I heard many cases, some cases, not many, but some cases, in which this awakening happens naturally.
Yeah.
However, it's more difficult to establish it, right? Like the state.
Right. Well, it's a social conditioning, is those balloons you were talking about that kind of
Yes.
lock things up. That's a very natural thing.
Because you
Living
don't know
life.
how. Yeah, I don't know how, because like, okay, I got this state. Wow, it was so cool. I remember one time I felt something very similar, not just like that, but similar. It was when I was maybe 15 or 16. After a swimming pool, I was just showering with a very hot shower, and I got into this state of thoughtless awareness, basically. But
Yeah.
I said, okay, wow, what's that?
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
And when I did the meditation the first time, I said, oh, that was it. Okay.
Yeah.
I never
It's
didn't
like,
know about
oh,
it.
okay, I've felt this before. I've been here.
Yeah, I didn't know how to replicate it, and with the meditation that we do in Sahaja Yoga, you can at least replicate it and enjoy yourself, basically.
Right. And that's Satya Yoga?
I don't know what Sahaja Yoga is.
No, it's not that.
Sahaja Yoga. Sahaja Yoga.
Sahaja? Okay.
Yes. It's like Sahaja.
Sahaja. Okay.
Sahaja. Yes. Like yeah, it's like Sahaja is like, as I said in the beginning, born with.
One with, yeah.
Yeah. And there is a very nice website that where full of resources with also guided meditations and everything like that. It's called simply freemeditation.com.
What was it called?
Free meditation.
Oh, freemeditation.com. Yeah.
.com, yes. And yeah, you can find basically everything there. And from the longer version of the exercise that we did to more guided meditations, to more theoretical knowledge. However, as we said always, like the most important thing is like just give time to the practice, and just after that, a little more of theoretical knowledge, because otherwise you get into the mind loop again.
Right.
You start studying things, and you get like you lose the experience.
Yeah, it's a more foundation, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Build on that foundation. But the first thing, and it's always this way, is just meditate. Just do it. Just begin. There's nothing stopping anyone from just starting the process, because it's extremely easy.
It is.
But the only difficulty is the person getting in the way of themselves, right?
Yes, it is. Just as I said, 5 minutes, and the other thing is just have to sit down, because I understand that you have to find your moments, but just have basically to be alone in one room.
Turn off distractions.
Yeah, I mean, yes.
For those minutes. And I think that's the hardest thing for people nowadays, to actually turn everything off. Turn the phone off, turn the TV off, close the laptop, and just take the time to connect. And you're going to get more productive and more connected and have better relationships thereafter. Every time you do it, the more you concrete the ability to connect to that one place. I call it the gray zone between the two spheres, the Vesica Pisces. The more times you do it, the more times you flex that ability, the stronger and the easier that connection to that beautiful paradise in our mind of the two worlds is, but it's really it's about the disconnection from this world, this turning everything off, all the stimulus, as much of the electromagnetics. For a lot of people, I find electromagnetic stimulation is a problem, just having lights on and things like that.
Yeah. I mean, this can be upon your say more comfort.
Right.
So there is some people. The important thing is not to do it in the dark, because this is going towards more about sleeping.
Yeah, you don't want to fall asleep.
But apart from that, you can turn on light a candle or something, or not. It doesn't really matter.
Or daylight hours, right?
Yeah, some people have problems to keep the eyes closed while awake, because they're not used to it, and that's fine. So they can meditate maybe with a candle, just watching the candle or something like that. So it's better like to have it closed eyes, but some people can't. And some people also have other things, conditioning, so problems that we are bringing along with our lives, and that's fine.
Right.
So the meditation helps cure all this stuff, all these things, but it can happen that it can take some time sometimes.
Yeah.
So the important thing is that just do, for example, exercise with the guided one, for example, in your own comfort. That can be home, or if you're feeling more like outside, better outside. And just not to be in a situation that somebody can judge you or something like that. Just be by yourself and just try it. Like maybe, just once, of course. Maybe try it more times to see something different. If you feel more adapt to it, or if you feel like better without thoughts or something like that.
Different spaces and different places.
Yes. That's very important, and it's a better investment that you can do for yourself. It's life changing, and but in a real sense, like it's not about technology, or like we overuse this life changing thing, sentence, like especially in the tech world. It's like it's a game changer, it's life changing, something that's always
right. No, exactly.
But
ChatGPT. That's all you hear about right now. ChatGPT.
Yeah, for example, yeah. I mean, we use it. There are tools, right? We use.
It's a tool, right? Exactly.
We use everything, but everything that you do for yourself, it's like what's life changing for your life, right? This gives you like the balance to be satisfied with yourself, to be more creative. Like the first maybe thing that. The first say effect, apart from these sensations, but like a long-term effect, say that that I saw after starting meditation after a few months. At the time I was studying at university, it was that it helped my concentration, my focusing on the studies a lot.
Yeah,
and I was like managing to study like in half the time that I was using before. So I said, what the heck? Like I remember that I couldn't remember before. And everybody has different things, like everybody's different. So there are some people who helped them to quit smoking after 1 week, and other people who had eyes problems and they get better. Like it depends. Like everybody.
You never know. Yeah, it's really it's rebinding the Kundalini, the personal body power structure, back together, or reigniting it. To say that it was at one point in time ignited and then it's slowly diminished. And so, maladies that might come about in life could be cleared by reigniting that fire again, that internal human potential of the person has. It's like it's not unnatural. It's more natural to have that fire burning and that ability inside of you to clear blockages, flow energy, and that sort of thing. Yeah.
You do everything by yourself. You don't. There is say nobody, for example, in the programs like touching you or doing things with you or something like that. Everything is by yourself because, as I said, you have to become your teacher.
Right.
And do your things. And then everything anyway in the nature has like vibrations. So there are, as I said, like places where you can do like better meditations, and other places which have like more difficult vibrations. So it's more difficult to do meditations. However, when you meditate together, like the meditations are way better because the Kundalini somehow they responded to each other, so they raise together. And also, this works very well online, meaning that even though there is a distance, like I already do a guided meditation online anyway, but especially live meditations, like together with other people meditating together, you can feel even like more of these sensations, or you can go better or deeper into meditation. Because the distance, it doesn't really matter when you meditate for the Kundalini itself, because you are not, whether you are in a physical same room or you are like on the other corner of the earth, the Kundalini gets connected anyway. It's
Right,
like
it is
part of the
connected.
quantum physics, basically. The Kundalini can stay in two places at the same time, basically.
Right. It's the
So
entanglement factor.
yes, the vibrations themselves have lots of ramification that from the quantum physics. That there's another story.
Yeah. It's involved. Just know it works. Yeah, that's great. And so if somebody wanted to contact you to reach out and get some of these meditation techniques, would they be able to contact you directly? And do you have a website for that?
Yeah, we have many actually. I mean, Sahaja Yoga is spread out all over the world, 170 countries or something like that. Anyway,
okay, wouldn't be with you directly.
Me directly, well, you can find me on I don't know, there is a Polywork, Twitter, Facebook.
Okay. I can connect. I'll put it in the description for you as well. That way.
Yeah, because my surname is a little difficult to to tell maybe. But first, want some information. Sorry.
Buaiscia, right?
Buaiscia, yes.
Buaiscia, yeah, I'm working on it.
There is freemeditation.com. As I said before, then my contact, maybe my Facebook is a little too personal, maybe, but
Polywork is pretty
we run
good.
the Sahaja Yoga Facebook page for Brno, but that is like a very small city anyway. So whoever is from the US or the countries doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
If you want to find the center, say where they're running public programs next to you, I think there is a list on freemeditation.com somewhere.
Okay. Close community. Yeah.
Yes, or you can Google, I don't know, Sahaja Yoga New York or something like that.
Right. Zoom into your zip code or whatever it might be. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is a lot of personal work. So the first thing is to establish your own connection and practice.
Yeah.
And then, reach out wherever you can to find somebody doing the same kind of practice. Again, this would be one key to access that link to meditation. But
anyway, if anybody has some questions about it, you can reach out to me. Yeah, totally.
Perfect. Yeah. Excellent. Well, Alex, that was great. That was a wonderful show, and I really appreciate you coming on. We all could use a little bit more of that peace of mind, and that approach is really awesome. Very awesome. And so what I would love to have you on again to do this in the coming months. Maybe we could evolve it a little further or something like that, if that works for you.
Sure. Yeah. I've done that sometimes in the past, online programs. I did one radio program as well.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It was some time ago, but now I'm more focused on physical presence here, but before that was like...
Yeah, the thing with radio, with podcasts is silence can be deafening. It can you can't just have dead air. You know what I mean? So having some guide along portion of the meditation is pretty important. But I feel like people get a lot of value out of it, especially if they can watch and do it along with you doing it.
Totally.
They can take notes and then they watch it again with the notes. They can study the process. But I really do appreciate you coming on today, and
thank you.
I hope you have a great week coming up.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, Alex. Take care.
You too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.